So in DMA controller, basically we have seen what are the of DMA and how architecture of DMA controller is there and how different functionings are performed basically. So data bus, read write function, and different channels it is having. Okay, so different channels are used to connect a particular peripheral device so that it can communicate through these channels and connect with the memory of 8085 or microprocessor basically. So all these we have seen. So next we will see how the working of this 8257 is basically going to take place. So in this working of 8257, we will start with different type of registers that is available to 8257. So 8257 and 8237, these are complement. They are almost the same name is there. Okay, so it is either written as 8257 or 8237. Okay, there are some differences, but most of this properties of these two ICs are same. Both are for DMA controller only. Okay, so here the DMA controller is basically we have seen here in the architecture, like it is having different registers. Okay, so it is having 16-bit register. So this was the 16-bit register and a 14-bit uh, counter. So this counter and uh, address lines are there. So this is 16-bit address lines and this register counter is the register available to this DMA controller. So there are different registers available to DMA controller. So these registers address is basically given by the A0 to A7 bit. Okay, so different A so A0 to A7 bits is going to give the address of different registers that is being used in DMA controller. So in that the bit A4 to A7 is going to indicate like it is working as uh, a uh, let's say the chip select for selecting the different registers. So here this chip select is being controlled by this chip select is controlled by A4, A5, A6, and A7 values, and this combinedly considered as chip select, and the remaining lower nibble we can call it lower nibble A0 to A3 based on different values of this starting with 002 up to 1111. There are different addresses that is going to give different registers address. Okay, that is available to DMA controller. Okay, so this complete list we can see from here. So overall we can see so here. So based on the chip select, how the chip select will be activated. So once this A4 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 to A7 bits are going to help for controlling the different registers. So different registers will be selected based on the values of A0 to A3 and the chip select that is consist of like having the registers. The chip select will be activated based on the A4 to A7 value. The chip select will be enabled by this configuration that is being used by a decoder. Okay, that will be decoding the chip selector configuration, the signal to chip select. And based on the values of A0 to A3, different registers will be selected. So in that registers, if 00 is there, then that will be indicating uh, channel 0 memory address register. Okay, so channel 0 memory address register means
Here memory address register basically indicates the location of starting starting byte. Okay, so
Which data, the data that should be copied to the external device or the peripheral, that external peripheral
can be a floppy disk also.
so if a floppy disk is connected, then what is the, suppose this is the data that we need to copy to an external device, okay, and the starting address of the data is whatever, like AA is there, okay. If that A address is there, or suppose for AA, that is 16-bit address that should be there. This 16-bit address is there. That address location will be indicated starting with the first 8, means 1 byte. 1 byte will be indicated here, okay, by the memory address. Okay, so this memory address, channel 0 memory address will be indicating the location of the starting byte of the data that to be copied. So its starting byte will be indicated in the register that is given by that register address will be given by 00. Similarly, 01 will be giving you out the count register. So this count register will be going to count based on the byte. So suppose we have known like one channel of DMA is basically going to transfer maximum 64 kilobyte of data. Okay, so 64 KB of data. That means for 64 KB of data, there should be 16-bit address line. So that 16-bit address lines will be there. Okay, so we have seen like a channel is having basically 16-bit address lines. So that in that address lines, to that address lines, the data channel 0 will be going to transfer the data up to 64 KB. Okay, so starting location of the first byte that need to be transferred will be stored in 00 location, that will be for channel 0, that is called memory address register, and 01 will be indicating like for channel 0, this is the count register. So count register will also be of, you can say, the 16-bit. Okay, so that is going to count the byte that need to be transferred. So once the starting address has started transferring the data, the counter will keep on decreasing, keep on reducing. So once the counter had reduced to 0, the data transfer will be stopped. That means that much of data has been transferred that was required. Okay, so whatever byte of instruction byte of data need to be transferred, that count is stored into the count register of that particular channel. Okay, so similarly, if it is 02, that 02 address location will be giving you out like it is the channel 1 memory address register, and 03 address is channel 1 count register. Okay, so similarly, there are different registers available to DMA controller. So that registers is basically having a particular address that a DMA that can be accessed by the instructions. Okay, so these instructions can access these address locations so that data can be transferred directly to these registers. And next, we have seen different signals of, or you can say different pins of 8 to 57, or we call it 8237. So in that, there are different signals we have seen. So we have seen AEN and ASTB. So ASTB is basically address stroke. So what is the use of address stroke and AEN? Okay, so this address enable, so address enable and address stroke. These two are combinedly used to decode the higher byte of gives a higher address lines basically. So these are A8 to A15. So A8 to A15 will be basically controlled by the latch. So this first latch will be controlled by this first latch, and this first latch will be enabled or controlled by the pins, that is address enable, okay, and address strobe. Okay, so these two are there, and to select the lower byte of the address, so lower address lines A0 to A7, only the AEN, that is address enable, will be required. So once the address enable is enabled, that is it is made to 0, this latch will be activated. So once this latch is activated, so whatever address lines are there, that AD0, that is multiplexed address lines are there. These address lines and data lines, in that these data lines and address lines that is multiplexed will be working as the data lines. Okay, so to have this latch enabled, AEN should be activated. Okay, along with that, it is going to control by the ALE. This ALE is of basically 8085. It is ALE pin of 8085. So if the this 80 to 87 is connected with 8085, so this, if it is working as a address lines, this would be activated as a address. So to have that address activated, ALE pin should be high. So once this ALE pin is high, this latch is enabled. And also, if AEN pin of the DMA controller is 0, by combining ALE and AEN, this multiplex address and data lines will be working as lower byte of address lines, basically lower address line. Okay, and lower address lines will be activated by ALE and AEN, and higher address lines will be activated by address strobe signal and AEN. That will be activating this. Okay, and that will be connected to here. So the lower address and higher address can be activated by 80 to 87 only. Okay, and different signals we have already seen. And at the end, once the data transfer of DMA controller has been completed, it gives end of operation signal. So once end of operation signal is activated, that means the data transmission through the address lines have been completed. Okay. Next, we will see how the different modes, basically the modes of DMA controller. So in the modes of a DMA controller, so in the previous class also we have seen that there are two different modes. So one is slave, another one is master. Okay. So one is slave, another one is master. So in slave mode means, that means the data transfer should be taking place between the microprocessor and the DMA controller. If data transmission is taking place between microprocessor and DMA controller, at that time this DMA will be working as a slave mode, working in a slave mode. If DMA controller is going to transfer the data between the external device, okay, and it is communicated with memory of, I can say, a microprocessor is there, and this is usually the memory. Okay, so data transmission between memory to external device is taking place through DMA, then it will be considered as master mode. Okay, so if microprocessor is transferring data to DMA, it is considered as the slave mode, and in that we can see, like, we can make sure like this is the memory. So data transmission is being taken from the memory to the this, and there is a control signal. So data lines and bus lines here in this mode, the DMA controller will be controlling the data lines, bus lines, and address lines of the microprocessor also. Based on that, it will be generating the control signals, and that through that control signals, there will be a direct transmission, direct transfer of data from the memory of microprocessor to or memory, external memory to the external device. Okay, so memory, whatever memory is there, through this the data will be transferring. So this is the master mode. Okay. So here, in slave mode, basically the DMA controller is treated as a peripheral. So here, in case of uh, slave mode. If it is working in a slave mode, that means the DMA controller is going to work as a peripheral device, like the external device that is connected. It is similarly going to consider as a peripheral device, such that it is communicating between the microprocessor only, microprocessor and the DMA. If these two are communicating, that will be considered as the master mode. So here there are different steps. So in master mode, basically the microprocessor unit selects the DMA controller through the chip select. So the first step, like in that, the microcontroller, the microprocessor is basically going to select the DMA controller basically through the chip select signal. And once the chip select signals is activated, the DMA controller has been activated, then microprocessor will be writing some control bits to the DMA controller. So that control bits instructions are basically given in the example that we have considered in the down below. So we have seen that example in the down below. We have included that example. Okay. So here, so first, whenever some processing is going to happen, the microprocessor will be selecting the DMA, and it will write some instructions, some control words to the DMA controller so that it can perform particular selected operation. Okay. So once chip select has been activated and microprocessor is writing some data, that data is in the form of control bit, like it will be a controlling bit for the DMA controller. So that control bit writing to the DMA controller by the microprocessor is basically, up to that, it is considered as the slave mode, like the peripheral. It is working as the peripheral device because it is only receiving the data. The DMA controller basically in that slave mode is going to receive the data. It will not be transmitting the data or doing any operation. It will be just storing the data or storing the control bit, control data given by the microprocessor. Okay. So here the microprocessor writes the control word in channel registers and command status registers. So different registers are there using the control signals input output read and input output write. Like so microprocessor will be writing the data to the DMA controller through the command and status registers that are available to the DMA controller. So that mode will be considered as the slave mode. Okay. So in the next, that is a master mode. So basically in the master mode, so in master mode, the DMA controller will be the whole soul, and it will be communicating within the external device, like a floppy disk is there. Okay. So there will be taking communication between these two, and data transmission will be taking place between memory. Okay. So here DMA controller is the main unit. Okay. So here that's why it is called master mode. So once the initialization, so the slave mode, we have seen the slave mode. So once the slave mode has been completed, so whenever the DMA controller is going to operate, the first operation will be the slave mode. It will be initially operating in slave mode, such that some data should be retained to the DMA controller. Once the data has been retained, that is called initialization. So initialization of the DMA controller. Once the initialization has completed, then the DMA controller basically enters into the master mode. Okay. So once it is entering into the master mode, then it will keep on checking, is there any DMA request is there or not. So if there is DREQ, so it will, once the initialization has been done, it will keep on checking for any signal that is uh, available to DMA request or not. There are different DMA requests based on four different channels. Okay. So in that, it will be giving this waiting for different commands. Okay. So here once uh, the different commands need to be completed, so there are different steps that should be followed. So it will be keep on waiting for the DMA request. So when the peripheral is ready, so when any external device is there and that wants to communicate or that wants to transfer the data or accept the data from the memory, then the peripheral device will send this DMA request. So once initialization of a DMA controller has been done, and the peripheral wants to transfer the data or take the data from the memory, then it will send the request to the DMA controller. So that will be in the form of DMA request. So here basically when the peripheral is ready for data transfer, it sends high signal to D request. Okay. So whatever D request signal, that is DMA request signal is there, that will be made equals to 1. That will be made equals to 1. So once this DMA request has been made to 1, then so here this signal that is given by the external device, that will be DMA request, DRQ basically. It will be given to the DMA controller. Once this DMA controller has received this DRQ, it will say to the microprocessor, so this is microprocessor, it is going to say the microprocessor like what need to be done is like once the external device has requested for DMA request, that means the floppy disk either wants to send data, receive the data. So it will DMA will send the data to microprocessor as hold signal it will be sending, and this hold signal is for like it is going to the microprocessor should be holding the control of the data and address buses basically and control buses, so that a DMA controller can access that buses and send the data directly. Okay. So once DRQ request has been reached to the DMA controller, okay, the particular channel. So whatever channel is there, that channel will be enabled, and the control logic sets HRQ, that is hold request. So hold request will be generated. Okay. So once DRQ has been received, the channel will be activated and the hold request will be generated. That will be in the form of like it will be made to high. So this high is connected to hold signal of the 8085. So this HRQ request is connected to the hold signal of the 8085. So that hold signal will ask to the microprocessor like the DMA wants to have the control of the uh, data and address bus and control bus basically. So in the next cycle, the microprocessor unit relinquishes the buses and sends the HLDA, that is hold acknowledgement signal to the 8237 or 8257, that is GMA controller. Okay. So here once the signal hold signal has been received by the microprocessor, it will uh, relinquish means it will give the control of the different buses, and since once it is going to give the control, it will send the signal HLDA. Okay. So once the HLDA is received by the DMA controller, then the DMA controller will enable the AEN. Okay. So this AEN will be enabled high. So in the previous slide, previous page that we have seen, so this once the hold acknowledgement has been received by the DMA controller, this AEN pin will be activated. Okay. So once AEN pin is activated, that means the first, that is AD0 to AD7, that will be connected of the microprocessor will be connected to A0 to A7. Okay. So here this is high. This high means the latch 2, the above latch, the first latch that is at the top, that is latch number 2. That latch number 2 will be basically this the high signal AEN will disable this latch. So the first top of the top latch will be disabled, and thus connecting the demultiplexed bus A0 to A7 of the MPU and enables the latch 1. Okay, so latch 1 will be enabled and this latch 2 will be disabled. Okay, so once this latch is enabled, so the in the next the DMA will set the address strobe. Okay, so address strobe signal will be made high. So once address is high and AEN is high, at that time the lower byte that is made to high. Okay, so here we can see, so this is high, that means it is after inverter it will be low. So if it is low, this will be activated, and this is address stop is there, then this latch number 1 will be activated. Latch number 1 will be activated, that means the higher byte or higher higher address lines will be connected to the AD0 to AD7. Okay, So here the next that is connected to here, then this latch will be enabled, and after enabling that, that means whatever data is there to the AD0 to AD7 pin, that will be placed to the higher byte of the DMA basically. Okay, so higher byte of DMA means it will be with A0 to A15. So whatever data is there on AD0 to AD7 will be placed to this address. Okay, so higher byte of the data is being placed here. Okay, and at the same time, the DMA also outputs the low order address. So low order address and high order address both will be activated. Okay, so once the low order address and the high order address both are activated, then the complete 16-bit address will be activated. Okay, so once the complete 16-bit address have been activated, that means once the address is activated, then whatever the data is there, then the DMA basically, once this address is available, address lines up to 6 bit, then DMA will acknowledge to the peripheral device like it is, it has completed all the setups to complete to transfer the data. Okay, so once the DMA is ready with all the configurations, then it will send the DACK, that means DMA acknowledgement, to the external peripheral device, and that external peripheral device that can be a floppy disk or any other device. Okay, so once all the settings have been done by the DMA controller, it will send the DAQ signal to the peripheral. Okay, so once the DAQ signal is sent to the peripherals, now the role of DMA is like, based on the request, whatever the control bits are given to the DMA controller, based on the control bits given, it will be either writing or reading the data from the input output or memory devices. Okay, so based on these signals, it will be giving out performing some operation, and this operation will be performed till the DMA acknowledgement is high. So once the DMA acknowledgement is high, and this will be remaining high till the data transfer have been completed. Okay, so at the end of the data transfer, the DMA control will, once the desired amount of byte have been completed, and the transmission have been completed, then it will uh, give the signal end of operation. Okay, so this end of operation, that is a low signal that will be informing the peripherals like the data transfer is complete, and now the data transfer, that is basically uh, transmitting, that will be completed or it will be stopped as the end of operation is activated. Okay, so end of operation has been activated, then the stop, it will be stopping the data transfer. So this mode is basically considered as the master mode. Okay. So once the microprocessor having no role, only the DMA controller is going to perform the operation, then that will be considered as the master mode. Otherwise, if the DMA controller is being receiving the data from the microprocessor, then that mode will be considered as the slave mode. So whatever mode is there, okay. So first of all, if we are going to take the help of DMA, okay, then the first step will be slave mode. Okay, so once the slave mode has been completed, the step 2 will be, it will be going for the master mode. Okay, so and in slave mode, the microprocessor is going to send the data to the DMA, but in case of master mode, the DMA is going to send the data to the peripheral devices or external devices. Okay, so next we will see that example. Okay, so in that example here, some DMA initialization instruction need to be run. Okay, so like how the initialization is basically done by the microprocessor for the DMA controller. Okay, so here initialization is being done such that the following conditions should be met. Okay, so based on the following conditions, how the initialization should be done. So here, here it is given like use of same port or register address between 00 to 0F need to be done as we have seen in the above register list, total register list. Okay, in it. So here the first instruction is like disable the DMA controller and begin writing initialization instruction. So first of all, it is saying disable the DMA controller and begin writing the initialization. Okay. So once it is uh, the next one is initialize channel 3. So channel 3 we need to initialize and transfer 1 kilobyte of data. So 1 kilobyte of data, that means we need to transfer the data. So once the starting address, okay. So here starting address is given. So like we have given this starting address this. So starting address is this 4075. Okay, and 1 KB of data need to be transferred. That means to have 1 K byte of data, that means 10 address lines are there basically. So starting with if in terms of 16 bit we can write. So 4 bits are here, 4 4 4. So for basically for 1K, that means 2 to the power 10 is there, 1K is there. Okay, 2 to the power 10. So 10 means starting with 0000 to 0000000000. Okay. So suppose this is the starting byte location. The end byte location will be like up to 10. 10 bits will be high. So up to here it will be high, and the remaining bits will be low. So starting with this address to this address, there will be a total 1K byte of data will be there. So starting location we can see is like 0000H. So the end location should be like 0. In case of here it is 0, and this one is 0011. That means 3 is there. 3 is there, and this is F. This is F. Okay. So to transfer the 1 K byte of data, okay, 1K byte of data, the starting address would be here and the ending address would be here. Or we can see like the counter. Okay, so here basically we need to put the count value of counter. Okay, so count register should be there. So the count should be having the location of 03FFH. So if this is the value of count register, okay, and if 1 byte is transferred, it will be reduced to by 1, and again next byte is transferred, then it will be reduced to -1 again, and once it is 0, that means the complete 03FF byte have been transferred. So based on the count register value, the DMA understand whether still it needs to transfer the data or not. Okay, that means in the count register we have to put the value 03FF. Okay, from here we can see, and here the starting address of the data block that need to be transferred. So whatever block is there, so the starting address of the data is given by 4075H is so starting address is 4075H, and it, based on that it will keep on accessing the address. So okay, so this is the starting address, and the next data that need to be transferred is above this address. Okay, so this is 4075, so 4076, 4077. So these are the data from here up to here. 1K byte of data need to be transferred. The next address will be higher than the 75, 76, and 78, and so on. It's given in the condition. Okay. And now the next condition is like the command parameters should be like normal timing, fixed priority, late write, D request, and both are active low. So these are the different command lines that need to be activated by the data that we should be or the microprocessor should be writing to the here. So that is you can say more in broader sense. We have not considered that part, like how the control words are basically given, how the normal timing and fixed timings are there. That we will that is not part of our syllabus basically. So we are just understanding like how the microprocessor basically writes the data to the DMA control. Okay. So here next is set up the command mode. Set up the demand mode whereby the DMA can complete the data transfer without any instruction. So we need to set up this command basically. So here for initialization, first of all is like the DMA is being disabled. So to disable the DMA, this data need to be sent to the accumulator, and that accumulator will be sending the data to command register. So here in the register part, okay. So here in this register part, it is 08 address of the register is considered as the read write status or command register. Okay. And also this count register is there because we are we need to select the channel 3. So channel 3 count register location is 07. So that we will be sending the data here. And to select the channel 3, 06 is the location. So these three will locations register addresses will be uh, written there. Okay. So we will be sending the first one. So this is to disable the, this is the command to disable the DMA. So this disable command that will be written here. That means is the data that we are providing is in the form of bits. Okay. So 8 bits that we need to be providing. So this 8 need to be 8 bit need to be provided to the accumulator. So we will be moving this mvi command a comma this data will be moved to accumulator. This accumulator is for 8085. It is accumulator of 8085. So whatever accumulator data is there, that need to be put out to the address location or the port address that is given by 08. So 08 is the location of the command register of DMA controller. So we will be sending this data to the command register of DMA controller, that is out 80H. So this means the data have been sent to the DMA, like the DMA need to be stopped. So this is for the disabling the DMA. Okay. Next is now based on the mode. Okay. So based on the mode that we need to activate. So in that mode, so control word we have not seen. So based on the control word, like if it is writing or reading the data, if it is writing the data, 01 should be given. Okay. And if channel 3 need to be selected, 1 should be provided at the lower byte, lower data, lower 2 bits. And this auto load is been disabled, so it is 0. If increment address is there, then it should be 0. And it is demand mode, then it should be 00 mode. Okay. Demand mode means it is we are providing the data to the basically DMA controller. Basically, it is demanding. So this is how the control words are selected. So once this mode have been selected, that data that is 0000, that means 0, and this is 7. So 07 data, or in either we can write 07 in the form of hexadecimal, or we can write in the bit format also. That should be moved to the accumulator, and this accumulator will be writing this data to 0BH. So 0BH location that is given here basically in case of the register. 0BH is write mode. Okay, so write mode register. That means once we are going to write the data, the microprocessor is going to write the data that will be given to 0B location. So it is writing the data to the DMA controller. It is going to give the data to the 0B location. So once it is written given, that means the DMA need to perform the different write data operations. Okay, so to write the data, starting byte of so from there from which location data should be written. So this location address should be provided to the channel through which we are going to take the data transmission. So in that the location is given like 4075 was given in the question. So first of all we will be sending the lower byte. So lower bytes need to be sent So 075 value will be put into the accumulator, and this accumulator data will be taken out to the port address. That port address will be 06. So 06 is basically for the channel 3 memory address location. So this is memory address register is there, that is given for the channel 3, that is 06 is there. So to the address, memory address of the channel 3, lower byte will be sent first, and then the higher byte, that is 40. So we need to send the 75 first and then 40. That means the complete address have been sent. So by these two instructions, we have sent the complete address. So once the complete address have been set, now we will send the control count bits basically. So count bit we have selected like with there for 1k byte, 1k byte of data, we should be having the count like 0, 3 and ff. So first we will be sending the lower byte, that is ff, to the count register of channel 3. So count register of channel 3 is given at 07 of the address line, that address location in the list there. So we will be sending the count value lower one first, and then the higher one we will be sending, that is 03, 03 location. Okay, to the 07 location again. So once we have done this, now there are different writing, like in what mode the this DMA controller should be writing, working. Based on that, there are some selections that like DMA is enabled, and once it is enabled, in what mode or in what condition is to be working, that is given into the question itself. So from there it is selected. So this control word status basically we have not gone through in the deep. That is for basic understanding only. Okay, so that data, whatever data is there, that will be written to the accumulator, and this accumulator will be sending this data to the 08 location. So 08 location is basically for the command register basically. Okay, so this command register, once we need to send some command to the DMA controller, we should be sending the data to the 08 port location. So that means that will be considered as the command to the DMA controller. Okay, so this is how the initialization basically is done. So this is the initialization. Okay, initialization of the DMA controller. Once the initialization has been done at this is at that time, whatever time we are performing, the complete time is considered as the slave mode. Here the DMA is working in a slave mode. Once the command have been sent, now the DMA is enabled and the command is sent to enable the DMA. Once the DMA is enabled, now whatever operations will be performed, that will be considered as like the DMA is working in master mode. Okay. Now the DMA is working in a master mode. Okay. So this is how the DMA basically works. Okay. So up to here, the DMA part we have completed.